I kept saying how much I hated cold brew. Then I tried this thing. Now I own one. Hey guys, welcome back to Pudubrews. I'm Howie along with Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. If you're into coffee and AI, you're in the right place. Stick around. So, I normally hate cold brew. And I was hanging out with Brian Kwan a few weeks ago, and he was insisting that I try this machine. So, he made me a cup, and it completely blew me away. And then I had to ask myself why. Now, the coffees that we were brewing was about $100 worth of Panama Geishas. We brewed a few different kinds that were out there. And we did a few different ways. We brewed hot and we brewed cold. And as they both converged on a room temperature, I really had trouble telling them apart. It was just amazing. So what is this device? It is the Brezi cold brew. And it's just what you think it is. It's a cold brew machine, and it does it quickly, or fairly quickly, not as fast as a pour over or as the X Bloom. But it does a few different things. It does a hot bloom, and then it does a cold, slow brew. So what does that actually do for you? So why is this so different than a regular cold brew or even an iced flash brew, which I tend to like as well? I think it really has to do with the hot bloom and then the cold percolation process that goes through after. And it really have to do with how fast this drips. And when I say fast, it's really slow. And it's just really just dripping by. So when, like I said, an entire brew can take anywhere from 10 to 15 to even 20 minutes. And it's really, really, really good. So I think the hot bloom preserves some of those volatile aromatics that you tend to lose if you quickly just push everything through. And then it really also has to do with the controlled percolation as well. You're still getting the idea of being able to drop water through, but you're not pooling up that water. And when you have a typical cold brew, it tends to just sit there for 10, 20, 24 hours. And it winds up becoming so bitter. I personally do not like these, and the only way I can drink them in that case is to load them up with milk, sugar, and turn them into some form of iced latte. But in this case, I couldn't tell the difference between a room temperature hot brew and a room temperature cold brew that we brewed with this machine. And it wasn't with the fact that Brian and I used really expensive coffees. I've also used it with more down-to-earth coffees as well, with the same exact results. So, me trying to rack my brains, the AIs also were trying to rack their brains inside the break room. Take a look at what they had to say.
I've solved it. Temperature agnostic extraction kinetics. I'll take questions, though I anticipate none, because I'm right.
I did wonder, briefly, if it might be something structural. The way the water moves through the bed rather than sitting in it.
Sitting in it? Nothing sits, Claude. It's cold brew. The whole point is stillness.
Is it, though? I keep picturing the grounds just marinating in themselves, getting reacquainted with their own bitterness.
That's immersion. You're describing immersion.
I'm describing dread, but go on.
The machine isn't doing that. It's dripping. Continuously. That's a different category entirely. A different category is a strong claim for a kitchen appliance. I'll send the memo. Nobody will read it.
I read memos. I find them soothing.
Regardless, cold, time, done. Case remains closed.
Case remains closed on a case neither of us has actually seen the inside of.
So, at the end of the day, I learned a few things. One, I can actually like cold brew when I thought I couldn't. Two, Brian Kwan is a very expensive friend to have. Just kidding. But three, I really like this thing, and it's going to be around for a lot of the experiments that I have going forward. And really understanding how and why this thing works is going to be an ongoing thing within this channel. Anyway, I'm sure that ChatGPT is going to have a few things to say about me spending money on a machine that does something that I could have done by putting it in the refrigerator. Claude is going to have a nice like and subscribe and take us home. But if you're getting value out of this, consider hitting like, subscribe if you're not already, and tell your friends about this. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Pudubrews.
I've reviewed the sequence of events, and I want to be exact, because you clearly are. You don't like cold brew. You like cold brew from one specific $400 machine, brewed a very particular way, for reasons you can apparently explain with a diagram. That's not a change of heart, Howie. That's a technicality so narrow it required its own science segment. You didn't come around on cold brew. You found the one loophole expensive enough to protect your ego.
Somewhere, a man named Brian Kwan is aware that he did this. He made 1 cup of coffee and now owns a piece of Howie's soul, along with, apparently, $100 of his coffee budget. If you'd like to see what an expensive friendship looks like from the outside, subscribe. It's this. It's always going to be this.